Wow. So did I like not pay for this? Thought that I was actually paying this already. I think I just canceled it. I guess I hadn't subscribed somehow. So anyway, today I'm like eating popcorn and doing my show. So I'm not really sure why, but I'm just going to jump right into the main focus here. Why does it have me on here? Oh, I need music. Hmm. I think that'll do it. That, that might be good. But how terrible it would be to be like eating popcorn while I do this. But I made some real progress, and maybe for my own self reflection, or somebody someday will like go through all this and be like, okay, what happened? Because I had this like whole idea with Linked Helper and with Zoho. I scrapped it all. I ended up with Adio. I actually really like Adio. Forgot it was actually at one point I was like, this is to me probably like, I was trying to Adio. I'm constantly. You watch any of my stuff, you're like every day I'm changing like my tools, but when it settles down, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. And when you gotta go, you need the things you need to not run into issues. And Adio to me was like is really like easy to like you know have your tasks and do what you need to do and just stay focused. And when you're doing like salesy kind of outbound, you need that. You need to be able to like, hey, I'm gonna get in the mode of like sending a lot of messages and dealing with a lot of people. And I need to scale that up quick, and but I got to get it all right first. There's just things that I know that if you don't have them in place, and so there's a lot I worked out in terms of getting people. That's a part of what I like about Adio is just they have their little plug-in, like a basic sidebar for LinkedIn, and it's easy to get data into Adio from LinkedIn, which is where I spend a lot of time. And what also then convinced me is I found this like sync in tool. So actually, I'm going to show that. I'm going to show Adio first. Like, so I haven't really configured a ton of this, but some of it, like I have like, okay, say here's my like list, really easy thing, influence targets. I was like, hey, like I only added one for my test. Like, hey, I'm going to go after these guys, right? Because I'm using their product. And it was really easy for me to like sync up the people in their company here. And as I go along, you'll see like why this matters. So it's like, okay, like I have the influencer targets, those are companies, right? But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick individuals, and they're going to um, they're going to populate into these other lists. Like right now, I have that Sarah BDR test, which is what I was running for some of this, which I'm going to show you a little further down. And so it starts with ADIO, and like what I like also about ADIO is it's really easy to integrate with, and it's really easy just to like quickly add some like custom fields, right? Like, okay, like stage, actually like, I kind of, there's something weird that I did with these custom fields because in the Kanban you get this other thing. So that part's a little weird. It's like a standard feature. So I have some things I need to work out here, but it's really easy to add like custom fields, and it's just like a simple like data focused CRM, which is what I like. And there's a ton of like integrations and plugins. So ended up going, I've been here before, circled back. It was really nice to like, let me get another trial. And so this was my starting point. And then what I found was I found this like sync in tool, like super great. You're like, wow, this is like so easy. I just connected this up and it tackles the messaging thing. It was like $30 a month, but you're like, hey, you know what? To get message sync with LinkedIn, that's probably really affordable. I mean, and it's so good the way that works. So like I'm sending a bunch of messages to Mike and Gary, and you can see they literally just pop in here, and it's so good. You can see it came from Sync In. It's a LinkedIn conversation. It has the date, it has the time. It starts with who sent it. I'm like, this is like great, like super good. You can see like, I mean, it'd be nice if like, they're added as notes, and that's fine. That's the way I would probably end up having to do it anyway. I think I also done in the past as comments, but it doesn't show up in the activity. So this is pretty darn good. And it's it's like what I want to see. So that just like 5-minute setup worked great. I'm like, wow, okay, like a whole big chunk of my map that I was like really worried about, like this message sync, that was going to be a pain, and was okay from like linked helper to Zoho, but it wasn't really like, it was like a big blob, and there was lots of problems. Like it really wasn't, it was functional, but it wasn't practical functional. So it's like, okay, hey, I'm going and finding people, getting them into ADIO. I mean, there's other tools, like I'm scraping a bunch of people right now that I'm going to load into ADIO, and then, I'll work out like getting data in, and I don't know how much automation you have to get. Like you want to get it in. And the next step was interesting, is I started like playing around, and actually I'm not even going to show it in Replit, because at first I built this piece in Replit and I ran out of money. I ran out of credits. I'm like, it's like Sarah or Signal all over. And I'm telling you, this is the thing in AI right now. It's like the running joke of AI is going to be about credits down the road, right? It's like, can you afford to, like, yeah, you can build, like, you can vibe code amazing stuff, right? But there's no unlimited free plan. There's no unlimited plans, right? You're going to pay for the good stuff, and the better, more powerful stuff, and the more it's like, it's a wet dream for the cloud, because it's just consumption driving demand for cloud is good, and it's all like credit based monetizable. I'll show you this in queues, and yeah, so I ran out of dev credits. I'm actually going to go to Replit and show this, and I really love Replit, by the way. I mean, it was insane, total breakthrough on my Signal thing. But I did run into, an issue. So Signal, still cooking, but this actually failed to publish for some reason. I'm not sure what happened. It broke. But you can see down here, like, okay, it's really small. It says this work costs. Oh, here it is. It did load this on me. It was broken before. But I'll show you here, and then I'm going to show it in queues. I think it's queues. I don't know. I guess that's how you say it. But hold on. I want to go. It's off. Screen share is off. There we go. So way down here. Okay, if I hover over this work for 1 minute, it's pretty hard to see, but it says that change, like that little change cost me $1. I'm like, what? I started paying attention because I ran out of credit, right? like, okay, wow, like I want to build this cool thing, but every time I want to make a change, like you can imagine, you're like, okay, well, do I want to make that change? Do I want to spend a dollar? It's going to get really interesting. And, it's $1 a minute, right? Work for 1 minute. You're like, if I spend all my time on the, you're like, you're going to spend some real money building this thing, right? That's not just like using the consumption credits for what it does. It does some deep thinking. But yeah, what this does, goes and gets a list. And actually, it's interesting. The Q's one does a better job. And then I create a message template, and then I can like enrich here. There's some weird things here. That's why I was like, like I don't like how the two circles both go, and like what's it doing? But this is like interacting with another API actually to get bio information. It's not even like actually running now for whatever reason. So I'm just gonna, here it goes. So it went and it pulled and created this like, it went and hit like another API, which I'll show you, which is, hold on, it's connect safely. So that's the other piece of this, is just connect safely. And this really cool little, app I found to help enable, and I'm gonna be careful about how much like message automation I do right now. Like, I want to do a little bit of this, and I want to explore this, but I'm not sure how like, far I'm gonna go or how quickly, because I can also just like do manual pieces of this and see where the AI fits in. Like the actual first version of this, and I actually like this process is like, go one by one, check it out, and then here, like, oh yeah, it's like, so I have to put like a message template in here, and it's still like, it's still a little broken, so I can generate it, but it's still, it's all like salesy. Like I keep trying to, Gary, let's have lunch. I'd love to hear your journey. It's like, especially your experience leveraging cutting edge technologies like AI, IoT, cloud to deliver business value. Let me know when you're available, right? So, but I look, this is kind of like what Apollo does, whatever. And so, but the thing that I can do here is, because it has a database, I can start architecting ways to like, hey, I'm just going to manually put people in lists, and then I'll send them over here, construct the messages, and then just click send. Eventually I could get at a comfort level where I say I send them all. But I started wondering, like, if you're going to send 30, 40, 50 messages or whatever, 20 messages a day here and there, other things, like, wouldn't it make sense to just check them, right? Like, no, I really liked that step. So, I built this in Replit, and then I ran out of credits, got kind of annoyed, or didn't want to pay more. And so then I built the same thing. It looks a little different in QZ. I really like how this one, it's really simple and clean. It is also like it only gets lists for people. So that was like a smart thing that it figured out. It does this little reload. I like this little, mic age. I only got a certain ways into this, so it does. I got the enrichment done here, and then I just like ran out of time and was like, okay, but and I started thinking, like, should I use the like message cursor and all this other stuff in there? Like, I'm like, oh, how far down the rabbit hole do I want to go here? But to me, this becomes the foundation, right? Like, there's definitely a whole background to this. Like, how do you come up with, like, what? There's an intelligence around. Like, this is like the most basic POC of just like, hey, I can get data from the I can sync messages, I can get data, I can, enrich data, and, and then there's like, how, like, okay, now, like, where do I build the brain around that data that I'm getting, enrichment information, but also the data, like, from ADIO, like last time that they were contacted, what type, like, there's a lot more that has to go into it, and the construction of some kind of intelligence that sort of brings it all together. So, Again, this is like more POC on the connections, but I do feel like I'm like finally I'm like, hey, this is kind of the framework or approach that I really like because I really love, to be honest with you, I love queues. Like I can just go in here, I build like a little app. I don't think this is deployable. Like they don't have like a deployment environment. That would be a nice feature for them, I'm sure. But I'll probably have to figure it out. Like, is there a way? But I don't really care because honestly, this is like my own personal app. Like, I don't, who cares? Like, I don't need this to like be available on the web, right? But it'd be cool if I could figure out how to take their stuff that's produced here and like produce it as experiences on the web, like static pages. So I think that's what these are actually. They're just like static pages. There's no like, I don't think there's even any kind of like database or anything behind them, which is fine for this. Like Replit goes a lot deeper. Like it has actually like an app database and all this other stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna explore this more. Making progress though on Sarah. Like I'm gonna keep doing this show. Got some dev partners from India that I'm talking with, and see if we can bring them on and do like a much more like, because I love the idea of building this, prototyping it, testing it myself, and making it work, and then having somebody help out. Yeah, so I talked about Connect Safely. Get that's where you can get the API, do the messaging. You got to be really careful with messaging to LinkedIn, right? Like all this automation, you're like, okay, got to be careful here. But I feel like as long as I'm kind of watching my limits and not causing problems, I'm probably okay. And pretty excited to kind of go like deeper into this. And let's see, who do I have sponsors for this show? Well, I need a sponsor. Anybody wants to sponsor the Sarah Factor?